So for the last couple of weeks, I've been hunting with the COILTEK 10x5 on the Equinox 900. I really like it on that machine. This is the first time I'm putting it on the X-Terra. I've been going through the test garden. I've been looking at some separation tests as well, and I just wanted to show you. And this is the only option right now for the X-Terra and the Equinox lineup, right? So the X-Terra will have a 10-inch coil, which was my favorite coil on the Vanquish. Now I've been relic hunting with this, and it's good for tighter areas, but I'm just going to show you an example on how it's not better for separation. And for my test garden, it's a good test because it's not clean and there's some nails in the ground with it. So you're going to see some targets where the stock coil on the X-Terra hit without a problem, and then the COILTEK, which, like I said, it's a good coil for tight areas. It's an expensive coil. This is $235, and the machine is, what, $269. But I'm using 10 kilohertz. I have my recovery speed at 2, my sensitivity at 22, and the stock coil hit all of these targets. Now, some of them, there are nails next to them. Like I showed in a video before, if you turn on them, you'll miss them. But there's some targets in the test garden here that this coil will not hit. And that's because the good non-ferrous is in the same area of the coil as a nail or whatever is down there with it. This is not a clean test garden. So it's a great test to actually see what's going to happen out in the field. So I'll stop rambling, but here's an 8-inch flat button. Okay, no problem with that one. That's a clean hole, a little bit of iron, but mostly a clean hole. This is and I don't remember which ones were giving me the issue, but we'll go through them. So this is a 10-inch walking half. Okay, so a good two-way there. This is a 8-inch silver dime. Let's put the iron on. Oh, the iron was on. Let's try and lower the recovery speed. Little more out of it there. Let's try and raise it. No, all right, let's go back down to 2 and look at some other targets. So here's I think this is 7-inch silver ring. Now the stock coil hits this a lot better than this is hitting it right now. 6-inch pull tab. This was interesting when I went over it. 6 inches is not deep, and we get a lot of iron tone with that, where with the stock coil having that bigger footprint, they're not under the center of the coil at the same time, which I think gives it an advantage. What's this one here? This is an IHP down at 7 inches. All right, let's turn on it. Okay, so there's a good hit there. But this way, whatever's in the ground, ferrous and non-ferrous, with the IHP, is masking that out. This is a flat button. No problem there. This is at 10 kilohertz as well. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, this is, I don't know what this is. Oh, this is a hammered coin down at, oh no, this is an iron. What is this? I think this is a hammered coin. I'd have to get down to take a look. Let's see. Yeah, hammered coin down at 8 inches. What I do notice about this coil, though, is when it's a clean target and it can hone in on it because it's a smaller footprint, the IDs are better. It does give a more stable ID, and that goes for the Equinox 900 as well. 8-inch silver quarter. See that? That's another good example. It's a one-way hit. Let's see what happens when we raise the recovery speed to 3. Let's go down to 1. Yep, every coil size is going to have, you know, benefits, and then it's going to have, you know, implications of what's falling under that coil at the same time. The stock Equinox coil, to me, does better at unmasking than the 6-inch coil. And in the case with the X-Terra, the stock coil is unmasking better than this COILTEK. Depth is pretty close. You know, it's definitely a deep coil. The benefits for this coil would be tighter spots. You know, if you're doing tot lots or relic hunting in the woods, you'll be able to get closer in. But when it comes to separation, you know, it's not always going to have better separation being a smaller coil than the stock coil or even a larger coil. Larger coils may have an advantage over smaller coils when it comes to separation sometimes. So there's a look at the COILTEK. Expensive coil for the X-Terra. You know, if you have an Equinox 900 or 700 and want to, you know, get this, it definitely help you out, being a smaller footprint for the tighter areas. But the X-Terra will have the 10-inch coil coming out. Willing to bet it's not going to be $235. The separation might even be better. We'll have to take a look at that when it's released. Blocks, we're using recovery speed 3, and we're accepting in -8 or higher, which is stock, will give a non-ferrous tone. So we're looking at IDs here, and we're looking for a two-way non-ferrous signal. So here's a bob or dime, same plain nail. Okay, very low on the ID there. Same plain buffalo nickel. Same very low, pulling that ID way down. Level 2, we're a 1/2 inch raise now, nail and bob or dime. All right, 1/2 inch raised buffalo nickel again. All right, 1/2 inch raised, oh no, sorry, 1 inch raised, this is level 3, 1 inch raised with the nickel. We come up a little higher, we go a little lower. All right, so 10 kilohertz does not like this. 15 kilohertz. 15 kilohertz, no problem. We'll go back to 10. Here's the dime. This is 1 inch raised dime. Still getting negative ID, but 10 kilohertz on that, it doesn't want to see that nickel. 15 kilohertz is better for the mid conductors, so it handles that nickel better. So here's 10 kilohertz on, now this is the tough test. You've seen the X-Terra go through with the stock coil. I'm not sure if it hit all of these or one of them. I'd have to go back and look at the video of the stock coil, but this is 1.5 inch raised nail now next to a silver quarter, and we're at 10 kilohertz. Sensitivity just 18, and recovery speed is 3. Okay, does a good job at that one. Very, very low IDs here. So if I take the iron off, just a little chirp. But when I put it back on, because we're accepting -8 and higher, we get a good tone. -8 or higher is stock as well. Now 1.5 inch next to a dime. Does not see that at 10 kilohertz. We'll try 15, but I don't think that will work on high conductors. No, we'll try 5. Nope, does not want to see the dime. Go back to 10 for the gold. So 1.5 inch raised nail next to a 2 gram piece of gold. All right, let's go to 15. Now, something I also notice, if I drop this recovery speed down to 2, it gives it some extra time to see it one way, so we'll take a look at that. So now we get a one-way hit. We'll go back to 3. One-way hit, but very short. Sometimes. All right, so it's all going to depend on layout in the ground. You know, this is best case scenario. Separation above ground will always be best case scenario. These blocks set up for all machines. I have the level ones for more beginner machines, but also to see how the ID is handled, and then go through each of the 4 levels here. Now, in-ground situations will be completely different. Depth tests are tough, where I showed you how this handles depth. My ground is somewhat mineralized, but you could see how there's a lot of trash, iron trash in my test garden. So that's kind of real world for me with the relic hunting. But you are able to get some, a bunch more depth if it's in clean ground. So keep that in mind as well. Really impacts the IDs on this COILTEK coil here. Where they're falling in the layout of it as well will impact it. And I noticed this 15 kilohertz here helps on the mid conductors, like a nickel. And then I go back over to 10. One way. 15 sees it both ways. All right, that's known that the higher frequencies will always handle the iron better when you're relic hunting. That's why a lot of people will relic hunt. Even Deus 1 days would relic hunt like with the high frequency coil in the the 28 range for a frequency. So there's a look at the 4 levels. What I recommend the COILTEK for the X-Terra. I would personally wait to see what Minelab comes out with for the 10-inch, because this is $235, and I would say for tighter areas, yeah, it's a great coil, but I always like their 10-inch, so I'm looking forward to trying that. I also updated my Deus 2. I've played with that some, so we'll have some videos coming with that. Everyone, thank you for watching.